Never, never, never die. 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 Never die.
Fuck you.
All right. It is Wednesday. It is 12:04. You might be wondering why this podcast is coming out a little late, because I got some special guests coming on to join me today. And before I get into today's podcast, I want to thank Blackstone Labs for sponsoring this podcast. And you get 20% off your entire order at blackstonelabs.com. That is 20% off your entire order at blackstonelabs.com. Use promo code BE4POWER at checkout. Get yourself hooked up. Blackstone Labs sells proteins, branched-chain amino acids, pre-workouts, thermogenics, whatever it is, whatever you want to achieve in the gym, Blackstone Labs can help you. And you get 20% off your entire order at blackstonelabs.com. You can also CH Concrete serving the San Francisco Bay Area. That is CH Concrete serving the San Francisco Bay Area. No job too big, no job too small. Residential, commercial, does not matter. CH Concrete can help you. Also to sleepterrorclothing.com. For those who are watching, I have a beautiful beard, and I keep that beard luscious by Sleep Terror Clothing. They sell Leviathan Cross. Go get it. Go check it out. All the links in my notes. Check it out. And thank you guys for coming on. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi. I am Jordan, also known as Jordy Cap.
And I'm Kevin, also known as Captain Kevin.
There we go. These guys have an online YouTube show. They also have Spotify, which, I was like, just watching the audio and then seeing your videos on there, I was like a little blown. I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like I said, it's always fun when you can actually see stuff like that, and I know how hard it is to get videos and push stuff out there and just creating content, because that's what I do on my spectrum, on my end, for what I do as the Angry Dad. And, you guys reached out to me, and, what made you guys look towards me for this podcast?
Well, it's funny. I just became a dad myself. Yeah. My little girl's 2 months old today. And we have been performing for kids for the last 10 years. So now I'm actually a dad. It puts it in different perspective, being a dad and performing for kids. And so we were just looking out to see what in the dad world people are talking about. And came across your podcast and just enjoyed how raw you are about the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Go on and on about that, but also just when it comes to entertaining kids as two young guys out in Los Angeles, it's been pretty wild. So I felt like we needed a raw podcast to really lay it all out what we've been doing.
We're hoping to get some protein powder out of this also. So.
You know what I mean? Oh yeah. Well, I do like to promote the health and wellness of those. You know what I'm saying? I'm a very large man, so I got exactly. Like can you guys describe your show and just so people have reference of what we're talking about today?
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, we'll take you back to kind of how this kind of started and what our experience is in entertaining kids. And I think it will give everybody a much better idea of kind of what our show is. So about 10 years ago, I moved to Los Angeles following a girl who is now my wife. And Kevin and I had been playing music together at Northwestern University for a long time. Basically, the way that we did it was we would just set up kind of outside in the middle of campus. And Northwestern's like, even though it's in Chicago, like everybody's pretty serious there. And, as funky of a campus as it is, we got some weird looks, but, we kind of found that we had this really cool communal thing that was happening where like people would show up and play music with us and all these interactive songs and stuff like that. So fast forward to when we graduated, like kind of at the peak of the economic crisis, I was thinking about acting, which I'm doing now as well. And I moved out to LA following that girl, and Kevin came out a few months after that. And we were kind of thinking about what we were going to do, how we were going to branch off in entertainment, what our strengths are, and what we kind of offer to the world. And we reflected and realized that like anytime we would be performing music, the one guaranteed thing that who we would kind of catch would be kids who walked by. And so, from our personalities, I love being, I'm a serious looking dude, but I love being silly. You know what I mean? And I love putting myself out there. So we kind of started off we came out to LA and we saw, literally it started with Craigslist as most amazing things do. We found a woman who was a pretty successful kids party booker in LA And there she's like, and the post was literally like, do you like being silly? Do you like playing music? Do you have any weird talents? Do you enjoy meeting and being in front of people? And they answered all of those is a resounding yes. So we started off, she taught us she showed us the ropes. We did all kinds of shows, but our kind of our bread and butter was what we call the bubble show, which is where we fill a gigantic kiddie pool with bubbles and, we make them. And it's amazing. And we'll talk more about that show later, but it's, so in that show, we kind of came up with these characters where Kevin was playing guitar and I was kind of the more outrageous, mischievous one. And Kevin, who just happened to be wearing a captain's hat for one of the shows, kind of the persona stuck, and he was kind of the more serious and also kind of bumbling one. So with that, we kind of had our little Abbott and Costello thing. And we performed for about 10 years. I would say at our peak, we were probably doing 5 or 6 shows a weekend, which is...
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I mean, let me tell you something. It would be at the end of the day, I would get home to my wife and I would be like, I love you very much. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to do...
It's time to decompress.
Yeah, exactly. Because honestly, entertaining children, if anybody's ever tried doing that, is the most attention intensive thing I've ever done in my life. Because the second you disconnect, they're on you and they will rebel so fast. And we've had literally, I mean, honestly, look, I wish I could tell you that from the second we hit the ground, we crushed it. But we had some really shitty shows.
We've had total anarchy. Riots.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can clearly imagine because, like, I'm a dad of 4, so I know how hard it is to just basically keep semi-attention of kids to pay attention to what you want to do, what you want to say, and to follow directions. And so I can 100%, I'm not saying I sympathize with you guys, but I completely understand.
Yeah, that sounds like sympathy to me. And so nothing makes you want to be better than having a really shitty show. And I remember after the first one, we have an expression called an Armenian bubble party. And basically what that is the first gig we did in LA was for an entirely Armenian family that barely spoke English. We fucked up the bubble mix. We had really no idea what we were doing on top of being significantly hungover. We showed up just thinking we're going to be able to improvise and just like kind of go willy-nilly with it and crush. And we couldn't make a bubble. We messed up the song we were supposed to play. And halfway through an hour-long show, the mommy was like, we're good. Thank you so much. And I literally will never forget, we went to go eat wings. We went to go eat buffalo wings after that. And I looked at Kevin and I was like, we will never perform in this town again. Like one of those, one of those Hollywood things, So I'll let Kevin kind of take it away from here.
I guess the 2 points to connect would be how do we go from this disastrous bubble party to what we're doing now, which is creating an online musical animated kids show. And basically that has a lot to do with what happened over the last year. Pandemic hit, there's no more performing for kids. Jordan and I sat down, we had all these original songs that we've been performing live for a long time. And we had to come up with, what can we do now to kind of push this forward? And also just how can we entertain kids who are stuck at home and parents who are stuck at home with not a lot to do. And in a lot of ways, like their world is shrinking. So we decided we were going to record the songs in the studio and then start animating them and put them up online. And a lot of our music is all about exploring. I think that kind of is tied into being the captain, but exploring the world around you, learning as you do it. And really we just dove into it. We didn't know shit about animation. Still learning how that works. And even just like an online presence, like an Instagram following is like a whole new world.
Oh yeah. Now, like I said, I took the time out to watch you guys' videos on YouTube and everything. And like I said, it's after I looked at it, I was like, man, these guys are on par on what would be like Nick Jr. or like PBS, or like you guys are nailing it right down to the T of the direction of what kids love to watch. Because like I said, all my kids are of age now, what I'm saying? They're all, 10 and up. But when they were kids, it was all like similar shows that you guys are putting out there. And same thing with, like I said, I'm watching your music videos on Spotify, and I'm just like, the animation, this is the kind of stuff that really locks kids down. And just like I said, a lot of times, like I said, with the pandemic happening, it really forces you guys to adapt and to grow and to really dive deep. Because like you said, due to the pandemic, you guys aren't doing shows, so you guys had to hit the ground running. And by setting up an Instagram, like I said, one of the things I will recommend this to you guys right now is TikTok's exploding, and if you guys aren't on that, you guys definitely need to, because that is,
you're literally the 10th. You're the 10th.
Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating. You're the
Yeah.
10th person this week that's told us about it.
Yeah.
But I just thought, the funny thing is, I thought TikTok was all just like 10 and 12-year-olds.
No.
No.
Yeah, it is not. It is definitely for the younger kids. Like my youngest son is 9, getting ready to turn 10, and he's on TikTok. And like I said, there's realms and destinations and sides of that kind of thing. Just like on Twitter, just like on Instagram, there are subdivisions of all these things that, kids are really, that right there is eye-popping enough to where it would, it would help, if you're not promoting yourself, you're not doing nothing for yourself. And that's the thing about TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr. These are the platforms you guys have to hit that level of success. And what it is just constantly posting. If you guys set yourself like I'm going to do at least 2 posts a day on TikTok, 2 posts a day on Instagram, 2 posts on Twitter a day. Guess what? That's more posts than you guys have done, in a short amount of time, because it's promote, because you guys really have something here. And it's very impressive. Like I said, I was just a little blown away after I dove a little deep, started looking into you guys' stuff, and I was like, all right, these guys, are hitting the ground running. And especially if you guys just started hitting the animation, you guys are still figuring this out. I'd definitely love to see where you guys are going to end up in the next 2 years, because like I said, the stuff that you're showing is on par with what's on the Disney Channel, what's on the Nickelodeon, whatever on other kids' channel that they have.
Thank you, man. That is honestly incredible to hear. And on that point, kind of interestingly, when we first started putting together our songs and putting together our kind of concept, and we got, we worked through and animated all these characters, we were initially pitching it out to networks, and we had an agent that was kind of selling us and everything like that. But what became pretty clear to us was that if we were to sell this concept, it would become immediately out of our hands, and we would own, maybe who knows what they would have been able to give us.
Exactly.
So we decided that it was going to be something that we wanted. We love this concept so much. And like, honestly, it felt weird even selling these characters to another network, because it's kind of like selling my alter ego, So kind of keeping this amongst Kevin and I, while it has required an insane amount of learning. And oftentimes it might feel like, sometimes it feels like you're spinning your wheels, and sometimes it feels like it's about to happen tomorrow. You know what I mean? Just like kind of the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. Honestly, I cannot say enough to thank Kevin, because I was telling my wife yesterday, I was like, if it wouldn't have been for Kevin, I would have quit about 3 months ago. I expect, part of me expects to post one thing on Instagram, and it's like, wow, now everybody will see how wonderful this is and how much work we've put into it and how brilliant and funny we are. And then that'll just take care of itself. And you're like, ooh, actually, this little ball is going to take a lot of pushing to keep rolling, Yeah. So that's very much a learning experience, and something that's allowed us to expand beyond what we could have even hoped for to begin with.
It's definitely one of those things. Like I was saying, it's about posting, and like I said, this is just one entrepreneur dad to you guys right here, because right off top, like I said, I started this podcast maybe about 4 years ago, and it was just me posting, ranting, talking shit, and. And then, like I said, and I would post and I post. And then, I just started learning how things work on this thing, just to even get to the small level that I'm at, and like I said, I have great listenership. I get paid for this. It's not a lot of money, but the thing is branding yourself the way you guys are. And you guys, like I said, you guys need to, it's something, like I said, you should put out I hate to tell you guys how to do this, but there's certain algorithms that if you learn how to just ride that train, create your own hashtags. Every time you post, make sure you tag your hashtags and then anything relevant to it. Every platform has a certain amount of hashtags that you can use, and you got to use them willingly. You know what I'm saying? Because what it is, hashtags generate traffic. Hashtags generate direction to you, and when people Google stuff, hashtags are taken into that Google there. So where certain keywords will pop up, and guess what? It'll pop up your feed, like, you know. So it's all like I said, creating your own hashtag. So when someone looks at something, it's only you. And then those sub hashtags that aren't you but are towards you, those are the things that you put. So as soon as somebody looks up that, it automatically pulls you to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's social media things. It's a big game. You know what I'm saying? It's content. You know, it's you know. And one of the things that I learned really quick is, you know, don't ever pay attention to what anybody says to you in a comment. Don't ever pay attention to what anybody said. Take the compliments, react, like it, whether it's negative or positive. You just gotta just let it roll off the back and just keep on moving forward, because the internet is very negative. But the thing is you're not looking for that. You're only looking for the positivity. So it's the only thing you should accept.
Thank God, you know what? Thank God our little realm of kind of happiness and positivity it feels thus far, especially because we're mostly, you know, we're kind of getting the word out, and also just people who we've reached out to through hashtags and stuff like that. Thus far, we've been a little divorced from that. But I would say that, you know, once that happens, I will definitely.
Oh yeah.
I will shed a few tears inside.
We'll know we've made it when people start sitting on our work.
We want haters. Bring on the haters.
That's it.
I'm curious, Ben, like when your kids were young, what did you entertain them with? Like, what was your go-to for your kids?
I'm a cartoon person. I've always been a cartoon person. I've grown up watching anime. I grew up watching, you know, 90s cartoons, late 80s cartoons. This is stuff I grew up on. So when my kids were aged, all I did was show them exactly what I like to watch. So I would sit down there, I'd watch the cartoons with them. And then, you know, sure shit, you know, they developed their own taste in cartoons. So as, like I said, you know, I'm trying to even, like, my son watching Caillou, my son watching Sesame Street, my son watching like Peppa Pig, my, you know, Paw Patrol. And I sit there and I watch it, but it, like I said, it's entertaining to them. So it's entertaining to me. So I'm automatically locked in. And so if a lot of times that you subconsciously watch cartoons as a dad, you'll just be sitting there watching TV, they'll leave and you're still watching and you're like, oh my God, it was entertaining. And I can't admit to that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, growing up, I watched everything and anything. I'd show my kids every single movie I loved, every single TV show, you know, and I spent quality time with them. So that's one of those things, is when you get something that can really pop the eye, catch it, and subliminally catch the adult with the kids, then they're more in tune to, I'd rather watch this than this.
Yeah. And honestly, those are, I mean, if you can even call them gatekeepers, like that's who we're kind of appealing to. And honestly, when we did a lot of our live shows, I would say we specifically found moments where we would put in gags and jokes that would go over the kid's head a little bit. Like, for example, I think there was one point where Kevin was looking for his hat, which was on his head, or looking for his hat, which was on a kid's head that I had snuck away and put it under the kid's head. And so Kevin would look under the hat for his hat. Parents loved it.
Oh yeah.
The absurdity, you know, it's like you gotta put in mommy and daddy content also.
Oh yeah, no, you definitely got to. What is the inspiration towards you guys' music though? Like, you know, with the songs that you write, you know, is it just like collaboration? When you guys like to write it and then you guys just hash it out, or, you know, how was you guys' process on that?
That's a good question. We spend too much time together, I think, is probably. You know, I play guitar and Jordan plays the flute. So a lot of times, like, we'll get together, like, smoke a joint, jam a little bit.
Can we say that? We can say that.
You can say whatever you want. This podcast is 100% raw. I'm just refraining because my words, I just start spitting them out, and it just, you know, but that's my style. But sometimes, you know, with guests, I try to but you guys can say whatever you want. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? This is raw here, like you guys said.
Well, that is definitely a part of the process.
That's definitely part of the process. So we start playing music, just whatever it entertains us, and I think just our sense of humor generally points us toward something kind of zany. Our song "In the Swamp" was originally, we were just kind of making a parody of Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Our band was called Creedence Clearwater Revival.
And that eventually turned into a song about the swamp for kids. But, you know, I think in the back of our minds, we just both love the entertaining kid side of things, and for whatever reason, our sense of humor just leads us there almost 99% of the time. So
You know, and that's the kind of sense of humor that I like, because what it is like I always like having jokes, and I always like saying it's just the thought of just making people laugh and enjoy themselves is just one of those things that, you know, like most people, as soon as you get in front of people or around people, they're shy, it completely shuts off. But when you have those guys that just have that attitude towards life, it's like, nah, we're here to have fun.
Yeah, and honestly, that's definitely something we've cultivated, because it's, let me tell you, being like a late 20-something dude, two late 20-something dudes that are usually bearded, showing up to a party of 4-year-olds that don't know you, and then immediately winning, and then having to immediately win them over, it requires a lot of, kind of know-how of how to handle. It's literally all about how you handle yourself. And they can see if you're sincere and you are taking yourself too, if you're sincere and you're not taking yourself that seriously, they're like, ooh, let me peek in a little bit more. And then you kind of work with that and gain trust. And with that, you can kind of have a good rapport immediately, because you really, if you don't establish that within the first 5 minutes, you're done.
Oh yeah. Now kids can tell, kids can see it. They can smell fear, and they're not willing to exploit it.
Yeah. So I guess, when we're talking about haters, literally nobody can say anything worse than what a kid has said on the side of our shows.
Yeah.
We had a kid, we had a 3-year-old, we had a 3-year-old once stand up in the middle of our show, right in the middle of a song, and go, "This sucks."
And then you gotta just keep going. That's just like, all right.
Yeah, and then I think we literally responded with like, everyone's a critic,
That's it. Oh yeah, no, that's definitely, like I said, I don't envy you guys and what you guys are doing, but man, I'm gonna tell you right now, you guys are really onto something. And like I said, it's just very impressive, because like I said, the how's the animation going? Are you guys having someone do that, or are you guys actually just doing it yourself?
No, so we hired an illustrator we basically told him the characters we want, wrote it out, and then he draws them. And then we have an animator who comes in and sort of puts them to action. But, we, again, failing to begin with is how we always learn. We animated one song. It was a Halloween song that we hoped to release 2 Halloweens ago. Mr. Halloween. It still hasn't been released yet. But we had it all in our minds. All right, we got this song. It's this guy. He's got a pumpkin head. He's dancing around. Animate it. And we gave it to an animator, and they spit out exactly what we asked for, which was awful. It was just a pumpkin walking back and forth in front of the screen for like 2 minutes, which then we realized, like, oh, you can't just hand off your idea to an animator and expect that they know exactly what you want to do. So now we're into storyboards, and like we've got a detailed script, and every single word of the verse we have to write out exactly what we want. And we learned that way, like that's how you keep kids' attention, because if you have a static image on screen for, I think, about 2 seconds, the kid is checked out, they're done. So it's like you've got to have something new happening at all times.
A hilarious story about that. We right now, in a lot of our songs we don't have full animations for, we have like a little still image that we've created to put on in the background. And one of our songs, Incredible Day, is about, starting your day off on the right foot, etc. So our picture is Captain and Cat kind of waking up in the morning, but it's still, so it's not moving. So one of our best friend's little nieces was watching it, and she's like, "Why isn't he getting out of bed?" Like, because it's a still image, baby. We're working on it.
Because kids these days now, you put on music for a kid and they immediately look at a screen.
Yeah.
To say, like, where's the cartoon? I don't think kids even understand anymore the idea that you can just listen to music. It's got to be. It's got to be animated. You got to see something.
It's got to get all the synapses firing. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of those things. Is like I always try to do that with my kids. Is when we're in the car, I'm either listening to other podcasts or, my kids are teens now, so they want to listen to their music. So I'll always tell them, like, well, guess what? We'll listen to your music, listen to my music, and then we go back and forth. But the thing is like when we get home, I try to show them like, oh, this is a music video. Like, I'm not interested in that now. So it's like that certain age limit that are like, nope, I need all of this. You know what I'm saying? And like really dialing it down. It almost feels like you need to touch the screen for them to really feel it,
Well, I mean, talking about TikTok, I hear TikTok secondhand from my wife all the time.
Oh yeah.
And literally it is visually and auditorily
and
overwhelming.
physical
Yeah.
you cannot see the next video until you swipe it. It'll just keep replaying that same video, and so it really hits all three senses in. And the thing is the algorithm they use is so dialed in. Like, it'll literally, once you start an account, it'll only show you what you want to see. It'll only show you what you're interested in. As soon as you start liking a few videos, it literally times the videos like, oh, someone watched this video for these amount of seconds, so that means they like this video a little bit more. Or they watched the whole video, they like this video even better. Oh, they just swipe to the next video, didn't even bother looking at that one. So it's so dialed in for what people want. That's why I say it's so effective. And the thing too is like with TikTok, and like I said, I hate to always preach this, but like I said, it's such a great tool now for what I just discovered, especially for what I'm doing. If you show that you are a sympathetic person, you're the kind of like exactly what you guys are doing. You story tell that in your TikToks, and not just show your videos, but like, this is what I'm designing, this is what we're doing, this is what we work on, this is our music process. You just show these little clips, and it sucks people into a story to where like they want to see you succeed. They love the story of the success. They love the story of struggle. And so people literally get fished into watching this, because like I'll watch one video and be like, oh, they start talking about something, and the video's like halfway through the original video, so I have to go back and watch a few, and the next thing you know, I've watched 10 of their videos, and they've gotten every one of those clicks. And like with TikTok, they have a TikTok creator account. When you become a certain amount of followers, a certain amount of likes, they start paying you cents per how many seconds are being watched of your videos. And so it's another way to generate income. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome. Yeah. Let me ask. So what kind of stuff do you post on TikTok usually?
I post my dog. I do a lot of eating challenges. I do multiple podcasts, and also do I have 2 YouTube channels. The YouTube channel that this one's posted on is all strictly my podcasting Angry Dad stuff, and then everything else that I have is like with my son, where we do called Team Bowman Snack Attack, where we do food challenges, food tasting, or like, you know, like just me versus him for something. Like we'll do like an eating challenge, being head to head. Or like, you know, we taste the newest soda, we taste something nasty, you know, some sour candy or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? But like, I'll start posting all that kind of stuff on there, and it just gets the clicks and it gets the likes, you know what I'm saying? And it drives people to your other platforms, because, you know, if you guys don't have a link tree, or if you guys don't have like a link bio yet, those are platforms that you can put in, like, say, I want to drive people to my Spotify. You have that, and it drives them to your Spotify, because they can hit that link, and then it gives you a list of, here's my TikTok, here's my Facebook, here's my Instagram, here's my merchandise store, here's my product. And they just got to, you know, they click it, and then it gives all the links to go directly to them.
Awesome. I actually only knew about Linktree. I thought that was only for OnlyFans.
Oh yeah, no, they're for everybody.
So at one point when we were getting started on this, Jordan thought that the best platform for our kids' content was on OnlyFans.
Hear me out. Because the novelty of that, actually, like the way that they have that platform, it's an incredible way to monetize what you're doing. And also the absurdity and the irony of having kids' content on that platform, I thought was at least enough to get us some attention and have us go moderately viral.
Yeah.
But hoping Kevin didn't think it was such a great idea.
I definitely, you guys should definitely head more towards Patreon with that one. Oh.
But that's awesome that you do that. Like also having TikTok to do with your son, and you know what, like have that as an activity. You know, I think that's a really cool way to do it.
Oh yeah, no, it's one of the things is like there's such a big disconnect with children nowadays, and with the disconnect, well, at least from what I see, is their internet, their TV, their phones, they're tied in. But the thing is like every so often you need a little something to reel in. Like I'm a big proponent of, we're sitting down and eating dinner, or we're going out and we're eating dinner. Oh, put everything away. We're going to enjoy ourselves. Whether you guys complain, act up, you know, talk shit or whatever's going on, we're still enjoying this meal, and then we're going to get to go home, or we're going to sit down and eat dinner. And then you guys, this is one of my big rules is no one gets up until we're done eating. You can get up and get more food, but no one gets done until the last person's done eating, and then we get to move on to whatever else we're going to do, whether we're going to sit down and watch a movie together, TV, or you're just going to go back in your room. You know what I'm saying? It's having those moments of quality time that are what I love the most, because you have to make these moments with your children, because if you don't make these moments with your children, you never will. And the thing is, it's never taught to make these moments with your father, with your mother, with your sister, your brother. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like instant gratification for everything, but they don't understand the quality of, oh, I had a laugh here. Oh, I remember this because it was a joke and we told it and we're having a great time. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times it's just like, no, I just need to watch my game. I need to watch my TV. I need to talk with my friend. You know what I'm saying? There's no together time anymore.
Yeah. And there's never, and we're finding this now, especially with our marketing and trying to get ourselves out there. It's like, oh, this never stops. You know, like this only stops when I decide that I'm going to put this away.
Yep.
So, I think being able to create healthy boundaries around stuff like this that otherwise could be completely inundating is really, is important. But, let our biggest problem be Hoban. Now we're like, Hoban is Kevin, by the way. That's what I call that's his last name. So like, let our biggest problem be that we're, over hustling this a little bit right now. But it's an exciting part.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is you never over hustle. It's just grind, and understanding that every so often you take that break, have a little breather, so you're not tired and stagnant of what you're doing. And then it's right back to it. You know what I'm saying? I do this podcast 3 days a week, and I usually do 15-minute podcast. And then when I have guests, it goes on longer, but I'm always constantly promoting, always constantly networking, always constantly just doing what I feel to do to make this successful. And, it's something I always hope my kids can translate into, like, my dad is working towards this. I have a full-time job. I do work, but this is what I actually consider my real job. I have a great job. I work for Costco, and I don't do anything physical all day long. So, I have the ability to do whatever I want all the time.
Love Costco, by the way. Shout out to Costco, baby.
Everybody loves Costco. You know,
come on.
I will say, just becoming a dad is the first time I've thought I gotta have a Costco membership. I'm a dad now.
Well, getting that Costco membership, once you have it, it literally pays for itself. I always tell people, just get the executive membership, pay the extra $50, because guess what? You get that 2% back at the end of the year, and you make, at least a minimum of $50. And that, guess what? That either pay for half the membership or $50 to yourself, because you don't even got to tell the other person you got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The funniest thing was, Kevin had an ex-girlfriend who literally you asked her, you're like, what's your favorite food? She's like, Costco hot dogs.
Oh yeah, they are pretty good. You know what I'm saying? They're not great, but they're pretty good.
Her favorite food, hands down. Like, not even, I was like, ha ha ha, that's funny. She's like, no, what's funny about that?
Well, we're doing the same thing. Like, Jordan is a teacher full time. I'm a TV film producer, and so this is all just like, we're trying to promote this, create this world in our free time, which is, it's a hustle on top of a hustle.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? It's all about making it work, and that's one of the things that, I never see anymore with most people, is like, no one teaches nobody how to physically work like that. You know what I'm saying? It's always something you got to learn. But the thing is like, with my kids, I always be like, I don't try to preach to them to do hard work. I always just do the hard work, so they subconsciously understand that, like, guess what? We might not want to do this, but we got to get it done. And as soon as we get it done, we're on to the next, and we can do what we want at the end. And it's just like, being a dad and doing this podcast. Like, one of the things that I love doing is I'm giving life advice a lot of the time, and I'm always trying to promote success and goals and drive in people. But, later down the line, when I'm no longer around, my kids can turn around and be like, oh, this was your great-great-grandfather. This is what he thought. This is what he speaks. I don't speak the way that I would normally speak to them, but I speak in this manner to grab people's attention, to make sure that they understand that this is serious and this is something you got to do.
Yeah. I personally think, and honestly, going back to kind of what happened right when quarantine was kind of settling in, I'm an actor as well, and literally everything stopped. And so just having this as a creative outlet, I personally think that there's no better joy or fulfillment than from the act of creation, especially, I think even Kevin's wife one time came in and listened to one of our songs and was like, I don't know if I really like this one, but it's amazing that you guys just made this up. And I think that there is, truthfully, as human beings, especially creative things like this, I think that there is no higher calling of our species than to create, especially from a place of love and from a place of silliness and from a place of play, you know. So
Yeah.
so to have this, as much as it's been rewarding to give it out and share it, I honestly don't know what I would have done in quarantine had I not been, you know, had the wheels not been spinning on this and the creative juices not been flowing. It's, you know, it's a part of our identity as creators now, which is incredibly fulfilling and nourishing.
You know, it's now that you say it, like it's part of your character, it's part of your life. Like I said, I have this persona of the angry dad, and you guys have your persona of the show, and it's just like so crazy because, like, you know, it ties into you guys so much, because I know it ties into me, and you know, I'm not sitting there getting recognized, but I get a little, hey, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, that's that. I'm that guy. But you know what I'm saying? It's just funny because, like, you know, as you take on this perception, you start slowly morphing into the characters that you guys create, and it's like, you know, it almost feels like I'm becoming this new person, and it feels good, doesn't it?
It's like professional wrestling. It's like professional wrestling in a way. I was just watching a crazy documentary last night on Butcher Brody.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Wow. But yeah, just like the way when you create a character and you know what I'm fascinated by is the exchange between the characters. That starts off very one-sided, which is I'm going to put all of myself into this character. But then when the character starts giving back to you a little bit,
yep,
it's a fascinating, you know, and the lines get a little blurred and in a way that you can still maintain your identity. It's awesome.
No, it definitely is, especially when you, like I say, when you start getting into those things where just like, you know, the more real you comes out because you have a little bit of this character where you can actually just be like, I can be more who I want to be here. And then it slowly starts, like you said, starts receding back. Like, no, that's really me.
Yeah, you're given permission to say something stupid. You're given permission to fail because that's the character, and you can try new things. You can experiment a little bit.
That's it.
And that's really rewarding.
All right, now let me ask you real quick, Kevin. You just had a baby. How old's the baby?
2 months old today.
2 months old today, man. Is it a boy or girl?
Girl.
All right, let me tell you right now. I have a daughter. I have 3 boys, 1 daughter. Oh my God. Hey, I'm not trying to scare you, but I'm just saying is, you know what? Like, my daughter's in her teenage year. She just turned 14. And the best thing, and like I said, this is just going to be a little dad advice, is, you know, all you can do is just listen, pay attention, and always acknowledge. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it's just very simple when it comes to girls, because, you know, the shit blows over I'm a fucking guy. I'm a man's man. I have 3 boys that are just as rowdy as me. And, you know what I'm saying? Just stuff blows past my head. So sometimes I got to be like, oh, I missed something, when it's subtle. You know what I'm saying? When you're married and your wife, and you're like, and she'll sit there, make a movement, but you understand what that movement is. You understand, oh, she's upset. Oh, you know, like I know I messed up somewhere. I missed something. What was it? And then you start recalculating that day, and it's going to be the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's you know, having a girl, it's a beautiful thing because of it's a real thing where it's father-daughter, and it's a real connect right there. It's a real your wife and your daughter will always fight, but you'll be the go-between, but you got to pick which side. You know what I'm saying? So
which side do you pick?
My daughter. Less of a headache. All right. I know how to wheel and deal with my wife. I don't know how to wheel and deal with my daughter.
Gotcha. I figure I'm in the clear until about age 12.
Oh yeah.
Then I don't know, locking her up. I just scrolling through Instagram, the girls are getting younger and younger, and the shit that they're posting, I'm like, oh my God.
Hey,
now that I'm a dad, I'm like, oh no.
Oh no. Oh yes. Oh yeah. And that's the thing too, is like building that level of trust, building that say that it's a sustainable, like, this is the line. Like one thing I always tell my kids, like, look, I'm not your friend, I'm your father. Understand the difference. The thing is, you can come to me and I'll take care of it. You come to me, I will be able to help you. You come to me and I'll show you the direction and the path, but I will never do the work for you. All I can do is point. And by pointing that way, you show that you're this beacon and light, as a father that I am the direction. You can always come towards me, and then I'll point the light. And when you do that, it sets this level of trust where they will never doubt what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like it helps focus life for them. You know, being a father, it's one thing. Is like I'm never trying to be their friend. I'm always trying to make sure that they understand that I'm here to have a good time with them. I'm here to make these moments, but I'm also here to show them what life is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to bullshit. And it's like, no one teaches you taxes in school. No one teaches you how to fix a car. No one teaches you how, you know, to what your emotions are. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? I can do that. You know what I'm saying? I can do that. And that's what you do for them. You know what I'm saying? You make yourself the go-to. And by doing that, guess what they'll do? In a time of need, in a time of desperation, in a time of something that happens, you know, hopefully nothing ever does, but they have no problem coming to you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think also establishing that level of trust that they can come to you no matter how badly they fucked up, and know that they can come to you and tell you that. That's the place I want to get to.
That's the direction I'm pointing you to. You know what I'm saying? It's like getting that little heads up, because like, you know, no one's ever really ready for fatherhood. It's thrust upon you. We're not taught. We're just going off of what we know from our fathers, or just from the examples of, like I said, TV shows, movies. You know what I'm saying? Just portrayals that we see. And so it's like really trying to get that honest opinion. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, you know, like I said, TV gives a little shadow of something. But the thing is, you got to make sure that you're doing as best you can.
Right. And I think the first thing you learn when you come home with that baby is actually nobody in the entire world knows what the fuck they're doing. And it's shocking after millions of years of human history, and no one has figured out how to actually take care of a baby. It's like everyone do this. This is how you get them to sleep. This is how you feed them. And it's all contradictory and it's all different and none of it works.
Yeah, and none of it works.
It's just shocking to me that nobody's really figured out a playbook of this is how you do it.
Hey, and the second one is so much easier. So much easier. Guess what? You already know not to buy the name brand. You already know not to spend all the money. You already know, like, hand-me-downs is fine, whatever. You know what I'm saying? The next baby, I can drop it and it'll survive. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying drop your baby, but I'm just saying, you know, there's a little more durability to it.
I feel like everything, we have to clean everything. If it even touches the surface, if it touches the ground, we're cleaning it. I can't wait to get to the point with whatever kid it is.
Exactly. You're going to pick up that bash wire, put it in your mouth, here you go, and then be amongst your day. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. It's not you, it's the mother. And then when she's comfortable, guess what? And then you can be comfortable.
Amen.
Let me ask you, Ben, are there times, like you talk about pointing out the direction to your children a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if there are any times you could think about where it was like you either in being confronted with something that they bring to you, or maybe something about the way that they react to you, where you realize that they're pointing out a blind spot of yours, or get you to kind of like re-examine or reevaluate something, or kind of your own thoughts about something in a way that kind of, you know, makes the exchange a little bit, you know, kind of back and forth.
The one thing I learned, and this is just for my oldest son, is I'm never right, but I'm always willing to learn. And so I always, there's a lot of times when I'm having, you know, I'm yelling or screaming or being upset with my kids because they did something and, you know, it's just cause for that action. But the thing is I've learned to listen to their side, to listen to their conversation, and then to dissect it to make sure that they understand that I am really listening and not just, you know, blowing steam off on them for no reason. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. It's, you know, it's taken me a long time to figure that out, where I'm just like, all right, let me really hear what you're saying. And then once you really absorb that, and then you can really dissect, like I said, because as they're speaking, they're just going to be like you. Kids are going to be hot-headed. They're going to say things. But the thing is you never take it with a grain of salt. It's just in anger. And when it is in anger, and when you're having a confrontation with them, it's just letting them get it out. And then after they've gotten it out and they've spoken their term, then you'll be like, all right, now it's my turn to talk. And then after they explain their side, you explain what you see, you explain what you're doing, and you explain, like, these are the consequences that are going to happen because of your actions. And then, like I said, it's just really about hashing it out with them in a full-blown conversation is in a manageable way. You know what I'm saying? Because not all conversations are going to be manageable. Kids are going to get you mad. You're going to have a bad day. There's going to be situations that happen. But the thing is it's always trying to remain open-minded, because once you, like you said, you get blind, you get that blind spot when you're closed-minded. It's you're right no matter what. They're wrong. They're a kid. No, it doesn't work like that. You gotta, if you don't have that perception of all the directions of, like I said, just having, conflict management, going through classes, seeing these things that are usually given to you through work, and they actually translate to home life if you pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times people always feel they're right. Doesn't mean they're right. You know what I'm saying? I've learned that the hard way, just like anybody else. But the thing is, just like I said, it's having that conversation. It's speaking it out. It's really like taking a deep breath, exuding it out. All right, now what's going on?
Yeah. That actually, we literally wrote a whole song about making sure that you express it's inspired by actually the way ducks handle conflict, which I don't know if you know this, but like when ducks fight each other, ducks, or like when they have a disagreement, one of them will just like flap its wings like insanely, like tire itself out, and that kind of diffuses the fight. And I think we have a song called Let It Out. That's kind of teaching kids from a very young age the importance of kind of sharing stuff like that. So, it sounds like, at least from listening to you guys, it sounds like the things that work with adults also work with kids.
That they do. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's hitting them on that level to where they understand and they listen. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it's all about catching their eye, catching their attention. And, and I'm a big person of subconsciously teaching kids, you know what I'm saying? Because, it's your actions, it's your words, it's how you, act in public, act in life, and talk towards people, even in open doors or closed doors. Kids pick that up, and that's the traits that they pick up. And so it's like, I'm always a big person of like, I lead by example as best I can.
Yeah. Even now I found, just those petty arguments I'll get in with my wife, there's another person here now.
Yeah.
Like, frames everything in a whole new way of like, oh, okay, we got to compose ourselves a little bit better.
Just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like I said. Oh yeah. So let me ask you guys, in let's say 4 years, I hate saying 5, I'm going to say 4. In 4 years, where do you see this being?
I see this as being its own kind of online animated world, where it's both Kevin and I, because on our account, on our Instagram, we do live stuff as us, as people, and then we present it in tandem with the animated content as well. So honestly, if we could just, maybe I'm not thinking big enough, but I'm like, I just want to be able to do this for a living and not have to worry about anything else, and get to the point where I can devote all of my attention and all of my creative attention to this, and get to that point, because this is, at the end of the day, this is all I want to do. So in 4 years, and hopefully this will happen before then, I just want to be doing this and keep making it, and just have the freedom to always be creating without any pressure on the side.
How about you, Kevin?
I agree. I think in 4 years from now, I'd like to be doing this full time and just having the creative license to make whatever we want to make and put it out there. Because I think what we've found on our journey so far, and we were talking about this earlier, is the way that the YouTube world works, the beauty of the internet, if you can break through, is that you do have the ability then to create whatever you want and put it out there for people to see. And there's not multiple layers of notes and feedback. That's what I deal with on a daily basis, just being in TV, is like, it's, you have a vision, but then 7 other cooks come in that kitchen and change it to what they want it to be. So if we had this ability to create this world, and we always call it a world because it would be an animated show. We like that, but then we also like kind of doing the live component of it. We think performing like concerts for kids, we still want to keep doing that. We want to make it an immersive experience where, Captain and Cat becomes sort of a brand that kids go to for whatever it is, music, cartoons, live shows. And to be able to do that full time would be the greatest gift I could think of.
Now, I'll tell you right now, I definitely see you guys hitting that mark. I definitely see you guys, because you guys have something here. And like I said, it was impressive enough for me to be like, all right, this, as a father, my kids would be watching this. You know what I'm saying? My kids were young enough. This would be their stick. This would be their go-to. This is something that, you know what I'm saying, I would be more than comfortable to let them watch. And, you know what I'm saying? And I'm, you know, and a lot of parents, you know, say that this is the kind of stuff that I definitely see hitting the market right. And you guys are right on, like, you know what I'm saying? Like making this, like, you know, like I said, online, doing the content the way you guys are going to do the content. You know, one thing I'm going to let you guys know is, you know, work on these algorithms, watch these YouTube videos talking about these algorithms for YouTube, because there are specific algorithms out there. And, you know, we'll talk a little bit after the show, you know, just kind of give you guys a little of the insight tips that I know. But it's like I said, it's, you know, just hearing you guys talk, you guys, like I said, it's a real deal. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a father. I'm like I said, I've grown with kids, and I'm not saying I know exactly what they want to see, but I do know what they like to watch. You know what I'm saying? And so like, this is definitely something my kids would be like all over when they was of that age. And like I said, it's just so crazy like to see that you guys went from college to hitting this success. And that's what I love to see. I love to see the stride. I love to see the work. I love to see the dedication of someone out there hustling to make their dreams come true. And that's exactly what you guys are doing.
Thank you, man. That really means a lot. Thank you very much.
No, I'll tell you right now, keep it up. All right.
Thank you, man. You too.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. Let the people know where they can find you.
You can find us captainandcat.com. On Instagram, we're at Cap and Cat. On Facebook, at Cap and Cat. We're on Spotify, Captain and Cat. You can find us anywhere. YouTube, Captain and Cat.
And we're gonna do a TikTok starting literally after this podcast. I'm gonna call up Kevin, and we're gonna be like, we're TikToking, baby.
That's it. Make sure. I guarantee it. And it'll be great. And I'll put all you guys' links in the notes, in the videos. This will go up on YouTube, and then after the audio will go on every platform on podcasting out there. And guess the fuck what? This is the Angry Motherfucking Dad. You want to watch this shit? IGTV, YouTube. You want to do it? Spreaker, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, SoundCloud, Deezer, iHeartRadio. This motherfucker's everywhere. You can easily fucking find it. Rate, review, like, subscribe, all that bullshit. BlackstoneLabs.com. Be to the 4-power checkout. 20% off your entire order. CH Concrete, serving the San Francisco Bay Area. That is CH Concrete, serving the San Francisco Bay Area. SleepTerrorClothing.com. Go check it the fuck out. Links in the notes in the bottom, and I'll see y'all motherfuckers on the next one. Fuck.
Bye.
Never die. Always living. Always living. Always living. Always living. Always living.